education, community development, and nation building. I am Myra Kashaf Raja, female ambassador from the Women Development Department at University of WA, and it is my pleasure to host this session today. This webinar focuses on promoting women's entrepreneurship and their role in innovation, research, and commercialization, which are essential for sustainable development. We are proud to collaborate with Pakistan Economics Frontier, a premier platform dedicated to advancing sustainable economic growth and prosperity through a collaborative and inclusive approach. It connects a diverse network of institutions, policymakers, experts, entrepreneurs, and academics to foster meaningful dialogue, innovative thinking, and strategic action for economic development. Now, I would like to introduce our distinguished guest speakers. Dr. Sanam Bagma Khatak, Assistant Professor, Economics Department, University of Peshawar, and member of Pakistan Economics Frontier. Professor Dr. Samina Khalil, former Director of Applied Economics and Research Center, University of Karachi, and member of Pakistan Economics Frontier. Dr. Saima Khan, Head of the Global Studies Department at the Institute of Global and Historical Studies, GC University Lahore, and member of Pakistan Economics Frontier. Dr. Irfan Hussain Khan, founder of Pakistan Economics Frontier. Now, I would like to hand over this session to our focal person, Dr. Asma Arif, for her valuable remarks and to formally begin today's session.
Thank you so much, Myra, for providing me a chance to formally introduce this session. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to everyone. On behalf of Women Development Department, University of WA, I warmly welcome worthy Vice Chancellor Dr. Jamilun Nabi, University of WA, Professor Dr. Amjad Hassan, Director Auric, University of WA, Registrar Sab, and all distinguished guests, speakers, and participants to today's webinar. This event is being organized under the umbrella of Women Development Department, Punjab, as a part of our ongoing efforts to promote gender-inclusive academic and economic engagements. I'm also thankful to the initiative of the Chief Minister of the Punjab Female Ambassador Program for making this session possible. I would especially like to thank the Pakistan Economic Frontier for broadening the visibility of our session and for their collaboration with the University of WA in organizing this event. Today's session will focus on key sustainable development goals, particularly those related to gender equality, economic growth, innovation, and strategic partnership. We hope this webinar will serve as a meaningful platform for discussion, learning, and collaboration to empower women in entrepreneurship and research. Before formally start the session, I also would like to mention, and this is my responsibility to discuss here, that when we talk about the women participation, female participation, it does not mean that we are trying to bypass our male colleagues or our male students. Rather, it means that we are trying to support them. And we have also received special instructions from the Women Development Department, Punjab, that we have to highlight this point, that during our monthly meetings and monthly events, we especially have to include our male colleagues and male students for discussion of different topics. And just to make sure the importance of the gender equality, rather to just benefiting on or biasness on the one side of the society. So economy can not improve if we focus only on the one segment of the society. This is the key highlight of the today's webinar. So today's with this, we can formally start our today's session. And our first guest speaker is Dr. Sanam Bagma Khatak. She's working as an assistant professor in the Department of Economics, University of Peshawar. So, Dr. Sanam Bagma Khatak, are you there? Dr. Sanam Bagma Khatak? Ma'am, Dr. Sanam Bagmahata, am I audible? She is not there. So we can start with another participant. Um, so we Professor Dr. Samina Khalil, may I take you or in the panel, please? If Dr. Sanam Bagmahata is not there.
एक्सक्यूज मी डॉक्टर अस्मा, डॉक्टर सनम जो है ना वो है सेशन में, और शायद उनका माइक का इशू है, माइक शायद क्लोज है। अभी मेरी उनसे बात भी हुई है।
अच्छा, और
वो सेशन में है, वो तो कब की सेशन में बैठी हुई
Sanam Bagmahata.
डॉक्टर सनम है ये।
Sanam Bagmahata.
आप डॉक्टर समीना को ले लें, उसके बाद कर लेते हैं ताकि टाइम वेस्ट ना हो।
Our first speaker is Professor Dr.
Hello.
हाँ, जी Dr. Sanam Bagmahata.
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, Dr. Sanam Bagmahata, you are audible. I warmly welcome you in the University of Wa. It is our great honor you have joined today's.
Ma'am, your voice is a little bit low. I don't know. I'm not hearing you properly.
Okay, Dr. Sanam, now is it fine?
Wait, ma'am. Let me check with my. I don't know. I have some. Your voice is coming, but it's very low. The pitch is very low.
Dr. Sanam. Dr. Sanam, from our side, there is no issue. So I can formally start the session and you can just answer me.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So I warmly welcome you in today's in the University of Wa. It's a great honor for us. You have joined today's session.
Ma'am, can you take me on the second? Because I'm not hearing you. I will call someone to adjust the volume. If you can take me later on.
Okay, ma'am, no issues. No. Our first guest speaker is Professor Dr. Samina Khalil. She served as a former director, Pakistan Applied Economic and Center, University of Karachi. She also served as economic advisor to Prime Minister of Pakistan. I personally hold a special respect for Professor Samina Khalil as she has established a distinguished position in academia leadership through the remarkable contribution. As Professor Samina Khalil, you served as an economic advisor to Prime Minister of Pakistan. I would especially focus on the developmental side, that how we can uplift women participation. So my next question with Professor Dr. Samina Khalil. Professor Dr. Samina Khalil, am I audible? I think she has also mic issue.
Am I audible, Dr. Asma?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you.
It's first of all, I warmly welcome you in the University of Wa. And before any delay, without wasting any time, I start my first question. For example, as you belong to the developmental side of Pakistan, my first question is, what role does the developmental sector play in promoting and strengthening women entrepreneurship, including facilitating access to financial resources, skills development, market linkages, and advocating for gender inclusive policies and sustainable economic participation? So, ma'am, what is your opinion about this?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, Dr. Asma and Dr. Irfan Hussain, for having me at your very prestigious webinar. Thank you once again. Well, Dr. Asma, this is a very important question. And I would like to answer it in a way that since you said that I belong to the development sector, and I have worked as a researcher and as a trainer and as a teacher, as a development economist, especially the sustainable development. In my opinion, the sustainable sector, it plays a very critical role in promoting women's entrepreneurship by acting as a catalyst for economic empowerment, and also by fostering growth and accelerating the achievement of sustainable development goals, especially. And as I said, that I have always been working in this area, and particularly women empowerment in terms of economic empowerment and entrepreneurship. This is very close to my heart. So I actually related with the uh, goals of SDGs. You know, it is very, very famous, as well as people in this area. They love to work in this area, and we have got only almost or less than 5 years. Nations UNDP is concerned. So particularly SDG 5, which is gender equality, and SDG 8, which is decent work and economic growth. It actually, what happens is that it bridges gaps in financial access, skills, and market linkages, while advocating for policies that enable women to overcome socio-cultural barriers and achieve sustainable development and long-term business successes. So the development sector, it addresses this, the significant financing gaps that is faced by the women owned small entrepreneurship, and also the medium enterprises through various mechanisms. What are these mechanisms? It is really very important to understand what kind of mechanisms are available. Starting from very tailored financial products by developing and promoting cash flow based lending and the digital financing. For example, the mobile money to bypass the need for traditional collateral, which many women actually lack, especially in our setting, in our economy. Second is the grant and seed funding through implementing in-kind grants for micro entrepreneurs, and the cash grants for the growth-oriented businesses through business competitions. Another is the microfinance and financial literacy by supporting the microfinance institutions. You know, there are several microfinance institutions in Pakistan as well, and in other developing countries. So they play a very important role. And they actually offer small loans combined with financial literacy training to build capacity in managing business finances. And financial training it's very imperative. It's really very imperative, because otherwise, without this training, the women, which are not very, in our society as well, not very literate and do not understand the management of the microfinances and use of microfinance in their businesses, the training is very essential. And the credit guarantees through implementing credit guarantee program to encourage commercial financial institutions to increase lending to women-led businesses. So the development actors, they focus on providing both technical and the soft skills to improve business performances, and also the sustainability, which in my opinion is very important, because otherwise, if we do not have any sustainable way of doing all these things, it is really going to die in future. So offering training on business startups, financial literacy, bookkeeping, and the quality improvement. You know, there is an example in the United Nations, ILO's example of a start and improve your business tool. It is a very important tool, and it can also be applied in developing countries like Pakistan. And also by providing training on e-commerce. E-commerce is very important. Again, digital marketing and the digital tools to help women have access to new markets and manage operations remotely. You know, most of the women who are in need of this kind of trainings, they live in far-flung areas in Pakistan as well. And by providing training of e-commerce to them, we can overcome mobility restrictions that these women face. And also by establishing mentorship programs, business incubators, and Women Chamber of Commerce, which we have in a city like Karachi, as well as in the big cities, Lahore, Peshawar, Quetta, and all these cities. It actually facilitates the networking and the resource sharing and professional growth of these. So these are very important. Now, I would like to point out three things. I mean, linking this, talking about the market linkages and the business support, this is basically to ensure, again, the sustainability and the development sector. Like, for example, the value chain integration by creating inclusive value chain programs that help women-led businesses can have access to corporate and public procurement opportunities. Without these opportunities provided to them, the women entrepreneurs, through value chain integration, I think a whole exercise of you having access to the financial resources and all that, and the training also, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make a major difference in their lives, especially in their work life. And the trade facilities, that could be, I think it could be done by subsidizing the participation in domestic and the international trade fairs and the exhibitions. As you know, TDAP, which is Trade Development Authority of Pakistan, it regularly organizes the international trade fairs and exhibitions. So what they can do is that they can provide 50% subsidies and the 50% quotas for women in exhibitions, in these kind of exhibitions. You know, it is a kind of a trade facilitation for these women to market their products, not only locally, but also internationally. And the digital marketplaces, so I'm actually combining these kind of measures, not only for the women who are residing in the big cities, also women who are in the far-flung areas and the rural areas. So facilitating access to platforms like, well, it's a big platform, we know that. But again, I would say that Amazon or the local e-commerce, they are the sites to expand sales to remote and international regions. So I think if these measures could be taken in letter and in spirit, that would help women entrepreneurs a lot. So what gender inclusive policies would do? I'm basically a big advocate of gender inclusive policies. So the development sector, it works with government to create an enabling legal and social environment. So the gender sensitive policies, by lobbying for regulatory changes that reduce administrative burdens for small enterprises, such as simplifying business registration and tax procedures, that is very important. And legal reform advocacy through advocating for reforms in property rights and inheritance laws to increase women's ownership of assets, which can be used as a collateral. This is also, again, a very important point. And another very important point from the social perspective, I mean, from social point of view, is the anti-harassment measures that are very important by pushing for the implementation of, anti-harassment laws in workplaces to create a safe and enabling environment for women entrepreneurs. So through this, since I work in the field of climate change and environment, I think the green business support by promoting sustainable and environmental friendly business practices, which are often, prioritized by the women-led startup. This is also very important. So formalizing support, assisting women operating in the informal sector, which we call the shadow economy, to formalize their businesses and allowing them to have access to legal protection, credit, and government support programs, that can be a very great help for these women entrepreneurship. So these are some points that I wanted to make.
Thank you so much, Professor Samina, for your insights on the highlight. Definitely, we will extend our session on the other points as well. But before taking second question, I warmly welcome Professor Dr. Jamilun Nabi, as he had joined our webinar through the platform of the Women Development Department, University of WA. And welcome, Professor Dr. Jamilun Nabi. So, okay. So, Professor Dr. Samina Khalil, as we already know that you worked as a researcher and academician, so I feel I must ask this question. For example, how does the developmental sector can bridge the gap between academia and industry to promote women entrepreneurship, particularly through the collaboration, knowledge transfer, skill development, and access to real world business opportunities? As through this platform of the Women Development Department, we are also trying to make some more collaboration and some more interlinkages. So, what is specifically, as you belong to the Sindh province, we are from the Punjab province, what is your idea about it?
Thank you so much for this question, Dr. Asma. I think this is again a very important question to answer. You know, the need for development sector to bridge the gap between academia and industry, it's not new. I think women have been struggling to, especially I can talk about myself and some of my colleagues who were working in this area, that we need to have very serious efforts to be done to bridge the gap between academia and the industry. And since Karachi, I live in Karachi, it's a big industrial area. So we have taken this issue very seriously. And this would help and promote women entrepreneurship, particularly through collaboration, knowledge transfer, and also the skill development and access to the real world business opportunities. So no doubt about it. And we have to take this discussion very seriously and try to do something very, very, very importantly. And since we have been lagging behind, not doing much in this area, even the industry is there, even the good academic institutions are also working, but I don't find any serious efforts that have been undertaken to bridge the gap. So I think the key approaches that could include the collaboration and the ecosystem building. What is that? The development organizations like the NGOs and also the international bodies, they act as conveners and bringing together academic institutions and the government bodies and private sector firms to create a unified support system. And that is very important. That is very necessary. Universities actually what they do is that they establish on-campus incubators and innovation. When we talk about the young girls and the young students, it can help them, by establishing on-campus incubators and the innovation labs to help women students especially, and the researchers too, to validate business ideas and develop prototype. What they do in incubators and these innovation labs, they develop prototypes and gain early stage mentoring. If this happens, that is a greater trigger to encourage women to enter into the entrepreneurship. Another important point is the public-private partnership, because I don't think so our public sector or the public sector, since there are many private universities also, they can help in creating the public sector, the public-private partnership. And these initiatives, they're like for example, the Khatija Women Entrepreneurship Program in Pakistan, as I heard about it and have also read about it. They are actually partners with the USAID and the industry experts to provide tailored mentorship and the trade knowledge to women-led businesses. So collaboration with Women's Chamber of Commerce, it can also help in creating dedicated spaces for women entrepreneurs to display product and network. So that could be the second step to move further. Now, talking about the knowledge transfer and the research-based insights, the development sector that can facilitate the flow of research-based knowledge from universities into practical business application. How that can be done? The question this question is always haunting me. But in my opinion, and I've been talking to so many people about this, so the development programs such as the entrepreneurship development programs, as you mentioned, that you've got this kind of program or trying to develop it, they're structured to move women from micro or the informal ventures to the growth-oriented models by sharing industry-specific knowledge. So that can help a great. And the development actors, they facilitate. What they do is that in facilitating the knowledge transfer to on e-commerce and digital marketing and AI tools now. This is very important. Since the AI is, it is in vogue, so the tools of AI to bridge the digital gender divide, that will help a lot in this area. And the gender sensitive data, which is lacking, especially in our academic area. I think I have always been talking about, and it's not. I was not only talking about. I was talking. I think what I have felt in my research is that there is the gender sensitive data is lacking. And I don't know why, what has happened, why the public sector is not giving us enough leverage by having this data. Because micro data would be helpful, but for the government policies, we need to have the macro level data as well. So the academia, it conducts research on institutional and the sociocultural and the structural barriers, providing practitioners with the evidence-based insights to design better policies. So efforts are needed to have gender-sensitive data on the regular and systematic and very organized manner. So I would actually emphasize skill development and the capacity building through development initiatives, focusing on filling the skill gaps between academic knowledge and the industry demand. Or we also need to have the what actually industry which is here in place, their demand is. But in addition to this thing, the vocational and the training, technical training, or it actually includes those programs that are designed to equip women with both hard skills. Hard skills means the teaching technical training in sectors like this, textile and the digital sector, and the soft skills. Soft skills could be the leadership and the financial literacy and the negotiations and all these kind of things. So another is the mentorship, as I mentioned before. But again, I would like to emphasize that for most of the women, mentorship networks, for example, the experienced businesses professionals, they often lead via industry networks and provide mentoring to the young women entrepreneurs and helping them navigate business challenges. That is very important to be done. Financial literacy is also very important. Finally, ultimately, they have to deal with the financial management of their startups, of their setup. So the training programs that help women understand complex financial instruments, and later on, once they start their businesses, the instruments should be not very complex at the start, but finally they have to deal with the complex financial instruments. Like, for example, the cash flow management and the investment strategies and the facilities, access to the formal credit and all that. So I think access to real world business opportunities, they need these kind of, women needs this kind of vocational and technical training. And I don't know, are we prepared to offer these kind of trainings? I think we need to do it if we want to do some, we want to help out our women folk to do their businesses and become economically empowered. The development sector, it actually bridges the gap by facilitating direct market access and the networking with industry. And academic sector is a very, very, should be very helpful, not only currently, but also in future. So that are some points that I wanted to make.
So, Professor Samina, as we have highlighted the gap between the academia and industry, so do you think so there are any challenges faced by women entrepreneurs from a developmental sector perspective? Although these are all the challenges we are already facing, but any specific challenges if the woman is facing in the real world, would you like to highlight any?
Yes, I think you are absolutely right in saying that I have actually mentioned some challenges while I was talking about, the academic sector as well as the from the development sector perspective. I think the women entrepreneurs, especially in developing countries, and we can talk about Pakistan as well, they encounter multiple dimensional and the deeply rooted obstacles and that hinder their ability to start. First of all, they start and then sustain and scale businesses. So these are the three steps before entering into full-fledged business. That is, they have to first start. And, from the very start, they come across a lot of hindrances and constraints. And then they have to sustain that. That is the second step. And after sustaining it for a longer period of time, they scale businesses and they have to scale it. Scale means spread their businesses and take it to the next level. So they come across all these stages, a lot of hindrances. So these challenges are the challenges that they are often come across. They are interconnected. They also combine with the socio-cultural norms and the structural economic barriers. So the main challenges, in my opinion, could be categorized like the access to finance, number one. Access to capital is consistently cited as the leading constraint. I mean, with a global financing gap for women-owned SMEs, they're estimated at over $285 billion. So it's a big figure. Collateral requirements for women, women actually often lack ownership of tangible assets, especially in Pakistan, land or any kind of property, tangible property. So why it happens? Due to unequal inheritance laws, making them ineligible for the traditional bank loans and all that. And it's a very commonly known thing. I mean, it's not something which I'm telling you for the first time. You must have heard it a lot of time. And the women-led businesses, actually, they are frequently too large for microfinance, but too small risky for the traditional bank loans or venture. So it's a kind of a two end of the spectrum. If they are very large, for example, some women are very small. I mean, it's a very small sector. If they are already, they belong to the business families, but still when they acquire those businesses, it becomes very risky for them. And on the other hand, what happens is that the microfinance is also something which women start from a very humble position, but that has also become very risky, because of several things. So due to the fear of rejection or the previous negative experiences, women come across with negative experiences, and that's for sure. They don't have that kind of a leverage that men in our society have. The women, what do is that they often refrain from applying for credit, especially when we talk about access to finance. So once they get rejected from bank or any other credit loaning agency, they become disheartened. So they give up. Women often face, as you know, I think we all know this very well, they often face very higher interest rates and more stringent documentation requirements than their male counterparts. Why I say this? Because if we take the example of Bangladesh, or there are some African countries as well, where I think the conditions are much better than in our setting. And Bangladesh is a good example of women are being given the privileged position in a sense that they don't have to worry about the collateral that they have to show and have access to finances for their entrepreneurship. So skill development and training gaps, I have already mentioned that that's a very big challenge. I mean, women entrepreneurs, they face these kind of constraints that they do not know how to start their business. They do not know, although they want to do it. I'm not talking about those women who, those who are very skilled in a sense that they do a lot of sewing and knitting work. And but there are different kinds of problems with them. Particularly, but I'm talking about the technical and also the good kind of businesses that can pay back to them in a proper manner. So the skill development and training gaps, they should be taken very seriously. As I said, that the lack of formal training in the many regions of our country, women have very lower rates of literacy and formal education. So this is another big hindrance, their ability to manage complex business processes. So the women literacy, everything is related to our social setup as well. The social indicators, if they are not good, when we talk about the women economic empowerment, it is highly connected. So what we need to do is that any strategy that we adopt, any policy that we adopt, it has to be taken holistically. It comes from the social sector. It is highly connected. They are all very. So there is a significant gender divide in digital literacy and smartphone ownership, which limits them. I'm talking about the most of the women, not talking about a class of women who have access to all these things as well, which includes ourselves who are in the academics. But if they don't have access to digital literacy, that limits their ability to adopt new technology or particular e-commerce, and that is something which is a common sense thing. We can understand very easily. Many women-led businesses, they are informal, most of them, and the home-based working they do, and they lead, that basically leads to facilitated financial management, marketing and strategic planning skills. If we give them good skills and if we have a proper, very organized, systematic system of giving them training and promoting different skills of marketing opportunities are not there. This is another major problem. And they do not even know how to network with each other, as I mentioned before. So the women entrepreneurs, they are often confined to lower profit. I mean, this is the result of this. Ultimately, what happens is that they get very lower profit. And the traditional sectors such as handicraft, yes, I was talking about the handicraft as well, and the personal services with the very limited scalability. So what happens is that the chances of growth of their businesses, they remain very limited. And there are also, we know that in this world, the networking is very important. And if there is a limited networking for women, they have less access to the professional networks and the trade associations and also the male-dominated supply chains. Supply chains, we know that it's completely male-dominated. And also, they are very critical for accessing information, clients, and suppliers, all these things. So networking is very important, and they should be knowing how to use that network. That is how they can do it. They need to be trained in it. Cultural restrictions, in my opinion, as I said, on mobility in some regions, it limits women's ability to visit suppliers and reach new markets and negotiate with the buyers. So mobility is also another issue. They don't have much facility, or they are not mobile actually, restricted to their area. It's very difficult for them to reach to other places. And time poverty, I don't want to talk about the time poverty because poverty has to be, they are doing all these things, these women, they put their efforts to end their poverty. But it's a very complex thing to talk about. But the institutional and the legal support, institutional structures, and including the government and the financial institutions, they often fail to address very special needs of women, like the as I talked, gender blind policies. Bureaucratic hurdles are also there in terms of complex registration, taxation, and licensing procedures, and that actually very discourages formalization of their ventures and leaving many women in the informal sector without legal protection or government benefits. And another very important thing is the lack of role models in this scenario. The scarcity of high-profile women entrepreneurs in certain sectors. I'm sorry to say that there are certain high-profile women entrepreneurs in our country, but what happens is that they limit their mentorship opportunities. They don't actually provide any kind of support to the women who are at a lesser position, in living in less developed areas of our country. And that perpetuates the perception that business is a male-dominated area. Most of the male are actually doing, and very few very privileged women, they are actually doing the big businesses. So I think this is another social barrier. Role models are lacking in our society. What are the solutions? You can ask me what would be the solutions. So I would say that we need to have the integrated program, like combining financial services with technical training, mentoring, and also the childcare service. Women, they care mostly about their children. So, and I wouldn't say that children are the main hindrance for this success to run the successful ventures or the businesses. But again, if the childcare services could be provided, that would be a great help for these women. And the gender responsive policies or gender sensitive policies I've already talked about. Digitalization, like leveraging mobile technology and digital financial services. I've also talked about it. But this is, I think, some of the solutions. And this is for me, who actually look forward for the technological access to the technology or the digital financial services that could bridge that networking and the access gap. This is something which I think are very important to be taken care of. So.
Thank you so much, Professor Samina Khare, for such an insightful discussion. And you have provided a policy and solution-based discussion. And, it is always a pleasure and it is always an honor for us to learn from your invaluable expertise. But, we have a shortage of time. 1 hour is not enough for one speaker only. But as we have a shortage of time, with your permission, I will move to the next panelist. But I am not formally signing you off. We may request you for the questioning and answering session and at the end of the session. So if with your permission, may I move to the next panelist, and she is Dr. Sanam Wagma Khatak. She is working as assistant professor in the Department of Economics, University of Peshawar. Dr. Sanam Wagma Khatak, if your issue of voice has been resolved, may I take you as a panelist?
Yeah. Am I audible to you now?
Yes, Professor. Dr.
Okay.
You are audible now. And first of all, I warmly welcome you in the University of Va. And it is a great honor you have joined us, our session. So without further delay, I would ask you first question: how does family responsibility or society expectations stops women from focusing on their business? What is your idea about it?
Actually, we women we are given double responsibility. Like we are considered to be a caregivers. Even to the kids, we are supposed to do washing, clothing, mopping, everything. Like we have the dual responsibilities. Then usually women have less time and energy to focus on a business, so they are only involved in a part-time or in a small-scale businesses. Actually, there are so many problems to us from the family side. Like we have the limited mobility in some provinces. Because I belong to KP, so I'll give empirical examples of the KP most. There we have some limited mobility for the women. Women are not like to be move outside or move alone, even in the public transport, even with the driver. We have some cultural and social norms over here. Then usually I'll mix my lecture because some of our audience maybe they feel more comfortable in Urdu and English, both I'll mix. फिर यहाँ पे हमारे साथ ये भी होता है केपी में, स्पेशली जो केपी का वो है कि वहाँ पे फैमिली इज प्रायोरिटाइज्ड, यानी एक गिल्ट ट्रिपिंग भी होती है. अगर एक इफ अ वुमन शी इज डूइंग एनी बिजनेस और शी इज एजुकेटेड वुमेन, तो ये भी होता है कि ये तो फैमिली को टाइम ही नहीं दे रही है, तो वो ही नहीं कर रही है, तो वो एक गिल्ट ट्रिपिंग भी हमारे कल्चर में मौजूद है. इसके अलावा हम वी हैव द लिमिटेड डिसीजन मेकिंग पावर. इवन अगर आप इवन आई विल गिव माय ओन एग्जांपल. आई एम अ वर्किंग वुमन, आई एम टीचिंग ओवर हियर. Even I cannot make my decision sometimes. Like I have to ask my father or brother or husband in taking any decision. ये भी एक हमारे साथ एक वो होता है कि हम जो है फाइनेंशियली भी डिपेंडेंट नहीं होते। फिर कुछ कल्चरल नॉर्म्स भी होते हैं, वही कि आप जो है फैमिली को निगलेक्ट कर रही हैं, आप तो सारा टाइम बाहर होती हैं, आप तो फलां से मिल रही हैं, आप तो ये काम कर रही हैं, वो काम कर रही है। ये चीजें भी यहाँ पे जो है बहुत ज्यादा होती हैं। इसकी वजह से ये होता है कि बिकॉज देखिए हमारे वी आर मल्टीटास्किंग, हम जॉब भी कर रहे हैं, हम घर भी संभाल रहे हैं, वी आर द केयर गिवर्स टू द एल्डरली, टू द किड्स, टू द पेरेंट्स, टू द मदर इन लॉ, फादर इन लॉ। इसके साथ हम जो है वी आर ऑल्सो डूइंग द जॉब, तो हमारी मल्टीटास्किंग होती है। तो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव मोर स्ट्रेस, मोर मेंटल लोड। इवन हमारे जो मेल है, हमारे से जो मेल होते हैं, दे आर ओनली गिवन वन, दे आर द ब्रेड विनर्स, ठीक है, दे डोंट हैव एनी अदर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, वो सिर्फ कमाते हैं तो उन पर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी कम है। हमारे ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डुअल ट्रिपल आप कह सकते हैं, यू कैन से वी आर द जॉब, वी आर डूइंग द जॉब ऑल्सो, वी आर डूइंग गिविंग केयर। इवन मैं आपको अगर अपनी मिसाल दूं, मतलब ये चीज एक प्रैक्टिकल हो जाती है। समटाइम्स जब मैं कोई काम करती हूँ, आई गेट द अप्रिसिएशन और सर्टिफिकेट्स और समथिंग लाइक दैट, होता है जो कि कभी कभी जैसे मैं आपके साथ अभी वो कर रही हूँ, दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ एक हर खातून तो ये नहीं कर सकती ना, कुछ कम खवातीन होंगी कि जो इस फोरम पे आती हैं या काम करती हैं या कोई अप्रिसिएशन उनको मिलता है। तो इवन माई ओन मदर इन लॉ, जब उनको कोई कहा था कि आपकी बहू तो बड़ी वो है, पढ़ी लिखी है, ये कर रही वो करी, कहते क्या फायदा, ऐसे पढ़ने का क्या फायदा, क्योंकि जो पोछा ही ना लगा सके, जो झाड़ू ही ना कर सके। मतलब आपको हंसी आएगी इस बात पे, लेकिन मैं आपको एक माइंड सेट बता रही हूँ कि हमारे हमारे यहाँ ये समझा जाता है कि वह खातून वही अच्छी माँ है, वही अच्छी बहू है, वही अच्छी बीवी है, जो कि जो है वो घर का काम ज्यादा बेहतर कर सके, वो खाना भी बना सके, वो झाड़ू भी लगाए, वो पोछा भी करे। और अगर चाहे वो बाहर बहुत भी हो, चाहे वो आइंस्टाइन की भी वो हो जाए, आइंस्टाइन के बराबर हो जाए, लेकिन उसको अच्छी वो जो है समझा नहीं जाता। लाइक आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग दिस इन अ वेरी क्लियर मीनिंग, जो कि माइंड सेट है हमारी एक उसका। तो खवातीन तो अगर आप उनको मौका दें कहीं पर भी, चाहे वो एजुकेशन में हो, चाहे वो पॉलिटिक्स में हो, तो दे प्रूव मोर। उसकी रीजन दो रीजन होती हैं। एक तो ये होता है कि विमेन बाय बर्थ आर दे आर मोर डिसिप्लिन्ड, हार्ड वर्किंग, ठीक है। एक तो ये रीजन होती है कि जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में वो जाती हैं तो वो ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्म करती हैं। दूसरी बात ये कि हम पे एक स्टिग्मा भी होता है बीइंग फीमेल, कि खवातीन तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकती, खवातीन तो कुछ वो ही नहीं हो सकते मर्दे के मुकाबले में। तो उस स्टिग्मा को भी रॉन्ग प्रूफ करने के लिए हम डबल ट्रिपल जो है एफर्ट्स अपनी किसी चीज में जो है उसको उसमें पुट कर देते हैं। तो ये तमाम चीजें हैं कि जिसकी वजह से जो है विमेन जो है वो सही तरीके से फोकस नहीं कर पाती, बिकॉज दे आर डूइंग मल्टीटास्किंग। तो इसके लिए अगर मैं समझती हूँ कि पूरा वो हमें सेटअप, ये कोई सिंगल वो नहीं है, किसी एक उससे ये नहीं हो सकता। इसके लिए हमें पूरा सेटअप चेंज करना पड़ेगा। इसमें जो है गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी हमें जो है कुछ वो आनी चाहिए, लाइक सपोज चाइल्ड केयर सेंटर्स हो, फ्लेक्सिबल आवर्स हो, फिर विमेन के लिए क्रेडिट आपका जो है वो इजी होना चाहिए, और बाकी इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स हो, बहुत सारी चीजें इस तरह से हैं। फैमिली एक्सपेक्टेशंस, देयर शुड बी शेयर्ड बर्डन, ये नहीं कि सिर्फ वही काम कर रहा हो, बाकी जो है किसी कोई दूसरा बंदा जो है उसके साथ हाथ जो है वो नहीं, शी इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड टू बी अ सुपर वुमेन, वो भी एक इंसान है। अगर सपोज अगर उसके साथ आप हेल्प करें घर में, तो वो ज्यादा अच्छा परफॉर्म कर सकती है। और हमारी तो आबादी, अभी मैं सेंसस, जब केपी में सेंसस था तो आई वाज रीडिंग फ्रॉम केपी, तो 50% तो हम विमेन है पाकिस्तान में। जिसका ये मतलब है कि अगर आप 50% विमेन को वो नहीं देंगे, एक रोल नहीं देंगे, तो यू आर डंपिंग द 50% ऑफ द जीडीपी, और यू आर डंपिंग द 50% ऑफ द इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, which can be done if they are in the labor force.
So, thank you so much, Dr. Sanam Verma Khatra, you have highlighted a real picture of our Pakistan, and also I think this is the problem of all Asians as well. But here I also would like to highlight one more important issue. I am in Punjab, you are in KPK. What do you think? So, does safety and ability to travel freely hold women back from growing their business? What is your opinion? Would you like to highlight it from the KPK, or from, and then would you like to provide a picture from whole Pakistan? What is the current scenario?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, traveling alone in KP is more difficult as compared to other provinces, because I have been in Karachi. I have seen over there. You belong to Punjab, तो ये जो एरियाज है जैसे सिंध हुआ, पंजाब, वो वहाँ पे ठीक है, मतलब एक माइंडसेट तो सब एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, लेकिन वहाँ पर इतना बुरा नहीं समझा जाता जितना केपी या बलूचिस्तान जैसे सेटअप में खवातीन का घर से अकेले निकलना बुरा समझा जाता है। मतलब अगर आप देखें, मैं एक सर्वे देख रही थी, तो उसमें आई सी के तकरीबन एटलीस्ट 69 to 70% of the women they feel less secure as compared to male in traveling. तो अगर आप देखें विमेन केपी में स्पेशली अगर आप पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट भी यूज कर रहे हो तो वो अच्छा नहीं समझा जाता. यू कैन नॉट गो आउटसाइड द सिटी अलोन टू डू द नेटवर्किंग और टू मीट द पीपल. आपको जो है कहीं ना कहीं जो है जरूर मेल उस पर डिपेंड करना पड़ेगा, मेल उस पर. उसके अलावा आप यहाँ जा नहीं सकते. देखिए यहाँ पे मैम मैं आपको बताऊं, मतलब जो पिक्चर मैं केबी की पेश करूं, तो अगर पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट में भी आपको अपनी एक हरासमेंट इशू भी होता है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर्दा वगैरह ज्यादा हम फॉलो करते हैं, एक ट्रेडिशन है हमारा. फिर थेफ्ट्स भी यहाँ पे होते हैं. दूसरा ये इवन अगर आप जो है टैक्सी में भी जा रही हैं तो वहां पर भी यू हैव टू फेस द क्रिटिसिज्म कि ओहो ये तो अकेली टैक्सी में जो है जा रही हैं, ये है. इवन अगर आप आई ड्राइव माई ओन कार, तो आप यकीन करें बिकॉज आई एम वेरी आउटस्पोकन, मैं अपनी ही मिसाल दूंगी. तो मैं जब ड्राइव करती हूँ कहीं इसके लिए कॉन्फ्रेंसेस के जाते हैं, तो मेरे पीछे भी वो करते हैं कि ओ औरत होकर गाड़ी चला रही है. स्टिल वी हैव दिस माइंडसेट इन केपी कि ये तो अकेली गाड़ी चला रही है, तो औरत होकर गाड़ी चला रही है. तो इवन मैं ये सेंटेंसेस आपको शायद वो अजीब भी लगे, मैं इवन ट्रैवलिंग में भी सुनती हूँ. जैसे कभी हम उस पे रुक जाते हैं ना, कहीं पे आपका सिग्नल आ जाता है, तो बराबर में कोई मर्द होता है, वो मुझे देख के कहता है पश्तो में, वो कहता है कि हाँ औरत गाड़ी चला रही है. तो ये है केपी में, ये चीजें है कि हमारे यहाँ जो है इस वजह से भी हम जो है खवातीन स्पेशली इस तरह के एरियाज में ज्यादा वो उनका वो नहीं हो सकता. नेटवर्किंग प्रॉब्लम होता है, अकेले बाहर नहीं जा सकती. अच्छा किसी मेल से आप जो है अकेले नहीं मिल सकते. इवन अगर वो आपका बिजनेस भी हो, बिजनेस के लिए भी आप मिलना चाहते हैं, तो ये वो हो सकता है. इवन आप यहाँ पे मैं आपको बताऊं कि यहाँ पे खवातीन जो है अपने नाम पे अकाउंट भी नहीं खोल सकती. वो जो अकाउंट खोलेंगी बैंक जाके, वो भी अपने भाई या शौहर या हस्बैंड के नाम पे होगा. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ ये बात भी बुरी समझी जाती है कि खवातीन के नाम पे जो है ये क्यों अकाउंट क्यों खुला हुआ है. फिर अगर आपके मोबाइल पे किसी की कॉल आ गई, मे बी दैट विल बी योर पार्ट ऑफ अ बिजनेस, कोई बिजनेस क्लाइंट होगा, कोई कस्टमर होगा, उसके बारे में पूछा जाता है कि किसकी कॉल थी, कैसी थी. तो ये चीज यहाँ पे मतलब केपी में और मुझे लगता है बलोचिस्तान में ये चीज एग्जिस्ट करती है. हाँ, और अगर हम बाकी शहरों में देखें, थोड़ा बहुत वहाँ पे फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी मौजूद है, वहाँ पे थोड़ी सी जो है अवेयरनेस है. जेंट्स मतलब इतना ज्यादा वो नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन स्टिल केपी अभी भी वी आर फार बिहाइंड. बहुत चेंज आया है, आई कैन से, मतलब इतना नहीं वो जिस तरह, लेकिन फिर भी अभी भी हमें उसमें काफी काम करने की जरूरत है.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanam Bagma Khatak. You have provided a real picture, and we have a very shortage of time. So, with your permission, we will move to the next panelist.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
But we may request you for the questioning and answer for the end of the.
Ma'am, actually, I am the coordinator. I have to start the paper. We have exam in the department. So I'll be leaving. So sorry, inshallah, next time I'll join you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your participation. Our next panelist is Dr. Saima Khan. She is working as a head global studies in the Department Institute of Global and Historical Studies, GC University, Lahore. Dr. Saima Khan, am I audible?
Assalamualaikum. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, Dr. Saima Khan. And first of all, I welcome you in University of WA. And
Thank you.
Collaboration will continue in the future as well. So my first question with you, Dr. Saima, is how can global narratives of women empowerment through entrepreneurship be adapted or can better aligned and support local context in Pakistan? You know, in the Asians and in Pakistan, there are economic contexts, there are social contexts, which are different from our north and rest of the world. So what is your idea and your opinion about it?
Thank you so very much for having me. Before I answer my question, मैं जरा थोड़ा सा अपना narrative build करना चाहूंगी that how would I address, because I'm not an economist. मैं जिन answers को address करूंगी, the way I would take them, I would like to directly bring in the lived experiences of women, because मेरी जो research है वो ethnographic है. I interview women, I participate, observe women, how do they behave, and I talk about their empowerment. और फिर मैं उन concepts को philosophically भी देखती हूँ, and this is how I work, and then फिर global local narrative को आपस में link करती हूँ. तो मैं जो इस discussion को, जितनी भी discussion हुई है, very fruitful discussion indeed, मैं इसको इस context में लेके चलूंगी. देखिए, the point is economic empowerment is generally considered very, very important globally. और उसकी रूट्स निकलती हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द स्ट्रक्चर्स, द काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर्स वी हैव, ग्लोबल स्ट्रक्चर्स वी हैव, क्योंकि हम अपनी डेवलपमेंट की, अपनी ग्रोथ की मेजरमेंट ही अपने जीएनपी और जीडीपी से और इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ से करते हैं, विच इज ऑफ कोर्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। लेकिन ग्रेजुअली एज एंड व्हेन वी आर मूविंग ग्लोबली, तो हमारे पास सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट के कॉन्सेप्ट्स और वेलबींग के डेवलपमेंट के कॉन्सेप्ट्स ज्यादा आ रहे हैं, moving from mere economic numbers, quantities to the quality of life, to the well-beingness of women. एक तो ये वाली बात मैं कहना चाहूंगी। दूसरा, gradually with the passage of time we are realizing कि हमारे narratives, be it global narratives or be it local discourses, ये दोनों आपस में कुछ जगहों पे it aligns with each other, and at some places it conflicts with each other. And in such situation where at times it aligns, जहाँ पे वो एक साथ मिलके चल रही है और कई जगहों पे वो आपस में contradict कर रही है, we have to come up with the solutions and we have to come up with the discussions जो कि बीच का रास्ता इख्तियार करें, जिसको हम ग्लोबल डिस्कशंस भी कहते हैं, कि ग्लोबल लोकल को कनेक्ट कर लें। समटाइम्स द प्रॉब्लम्स आर नॉट लोकल, दे आर ग्लोबल, बट क्योंकि हम ग्लोबल वर्ल्ड में रह रहे हैं तो देन दे आर बिकमिंग आवर प्रॉब्लम्स एज वेल। एंड समटाइम्स वी हैव लोकल प्रॉब्लम्स एंड लोकल इश्यूज, लेकिन हम उसको रिजॉल्व ग्लोबल सॉल्यूशंस को देख के उनको अडॉप्ट करके भी ले सकते हैं। सो देयर इज नो वन सिंगल आंसर कि हम यही करेंगे तो हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स सही होंगे। सेकेंडली, because we are diverse community in Pakistan, even within Punjab, even within one city of Punjab. For example, meri ethnographic research I did in Islamabad and its suburb area, and then Punjab and multiple areas of Punjab and Gilgit-Baltistan. Even within Lahore, there is not one concept of empowerment or entrepreneurship or, reaching to that particular point जहाँ पे जिस तरीके से अभी डॉक्टर सनम बात करी थी कि औरतें अपने पंजाब में probably अपने accounts खुद खोल सकती हैं. Even within Lahore, I observed, within Islamabad, I observed that there were women very educated, highly qualified, working. They could not, open their own accounts on their own name. और कई जगहों पे आप गाड़ी चलाना भी एक अजीब मायूब बात समझी जाती है। बट ऑफ कोर्स एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी, हम जब भी बात करते हैं हम जेनरलिटी के ऊपर बात करते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि प्रॉब्लम्स नहीं है। रूरल एरियाज के प्रॉब्लम डिफरेंट हैं, अर्बन के डिफरेंट हैं। विद इन अर्बन डेवलप्ड एरियाज एंड द एरियाज विच आर क्लोजली नेट सोसाइटीज, द प्रॉब्लम्स ओवर देयर दे आर डिफरेंट। एक तो ये बात आ गई। दूसरा, ग्लोबल नैरेटिव्स की जब हम बात करते हैं और जिसको हम आजकल फोकस भी करते हैं, विच इज इकोनॉमिक एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ वुमेन। And again, I would say that is very important. But, अगर हम अपनी society को देखें, हमारी society, the way we have been constructed and, the way we are locally constructed, as well as the way we are moving towards our global identity, economic empowerment is one of a very important aspect, but there are other aspects as well. For example, finding your own identity. आप हैं क्या? Then finding your own, engagement with the activities you have. ऐसा नहीं है कि पाकिस्तान में women were not entrepreneurs. Since the very beginning of life, women have always been entrepreneurs. For example, आप देखेंगे घरों के अंदर बहुत अरसे से खवातीन एक दूसरे के कपड़े सी के they sell that thing. Then उसके अलावा cooking facilities जो कि इंस्टीट्यूशनलाइज ग्रेजुअली अब हो रहा है, वो आ गई। उसके अलावा सिलाई कढ़ाई करना, एंड देन खेतों में काम करना, दैट बिजनेस टेंडेंसीज की मैं बात कर रही हूँ, एंटरप्रेन्योरियल टेंडेंसीज की बात कर रही हूँ। बट जब हम इसको प्रॉपर एंटरप्रेन्योरियलशिप के ऊपर लेके आते हैं, इट्स अबाउट recognizing them as they're doing some work, and then having benefits out of that, then having identity out of that. So we have to look at the kind of lived experiences they have. ऐसा नहीं है कि खवातीन को काम नहीं करना आता। अगेन वही वाली बात, खेतों में भी काम कर रही हैं, गांव की या यहाँ की भी, किचन गार्डनिंग कर रही हैं, कुकिंग कर रही हैं, स्टिचिंग कर रही हैं, पेंटिंग कर रही हैं, इंटीरियर डेकोरेशन का पूरी जिम्मेदारी हमारी है. एंड मूविंग टुवर्ड्स इवन ये जो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि वी हैव डुअल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, वी हैव डोमेस्टिक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, देन nowadays we have outside responsibility. Dealing with this emotional burden itself has become nowadays a kind of a business that you can provide emotional stability, counseling, and even an ear to listen to other person as a business. तो एक तो ये वाली बात होगी, तो वो हम कर रहे हैं. But point is recognizing that and institutionalizing that, or providing a facility through which they can earn something. Or this is something really very important. And when we talk about business incubation centers, or when we talk about women development centers, this is the point where we should facilitate women, that how they can develop themselves from the activities, from the skills which they already have. हो क्या रहा है कि हम जब एंटरप्रेन्योर का वर्ड बोलते हैं, तो हमारे माइंड में बड़ा एक मैस्कुलिन कॉन्सेप्ट आ जाता है कि बिजनेस एंड इकोनॉमिक्स एंड कॉमर्स एंड हैविंग एन ऑफिस विद पेन पेंसिल एंड फाइल्स, एक्सचेंज ऑफ सिग्नेचर्स. एज अ रिजल्ट क्या होता है कि जो हमारी नई आने वाली बच्चे हैं, बिकॉज वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड राइट नाउ व्हाट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वी आर गिविंग. वी आर आइदर मिलेनियल्स और जेन एक्स. लेकिन हम जब बात करें एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का, इट्स अ वेरी टर्म ऑफ जेन जीज एंड नाउ लेटर कमिंग जेन अल्फास. तो वो किस तरीके से ले रही हैं, और फिर वो उसको लोकल ग्लोबल नैरेटिव्स को जब मिक्स करती हैं, तो फिर वो उसको किस तरीके से लेती हैं. तो हो क्या रहा है कि क्योंकि हमने एक बड़ी बाइनरी भी डिवाइड हो गई है मैस्कुलिन और फेमिनिन की, कि काम करना किस तरीके से जरूरी है, इट शुड इन्वॉल्व मनी एंड इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट्स. उसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है कि बच्चियां जो उनके ऑलरेडी गिवन स्किल्स हैं, दे आर एक्चुअली अंडरमाइनिंग दैट. और जब हम बात करते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी की एजुकेशन, हाउ वुड दे टेक अस, एंड ओनली लिंकिंग इट टू द यूनिवर्सिटी की एजुकेशन. अब ग्रेजुअली हमारी नई जनरेशन आइदर दे आर गोइंग टू यूनिवर्सिटी एंड देन फाइंडिंग के वो जैसे यूनिवर्सिटी से निकलेंगे दे वुड बी बिग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, या वो देख रहे हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी की एजुकेशन का तो फायदा ही कोई नहीं है, इसलिए यूनिवर्सिटी में तो हम एडमिशन ही नहीं लेते, हम अपना टिकटॉक का चैनल बना लेते हैं, हम अपनी यूट्यूब चैनल बना लेते हैं, दिस इज हाउ वी वुड वर्क. सो वी नीड टू लुक एट ऑल दीज नैरेटिव्स, व्हिच इज रियली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. कि university ki education is important to impart them multiple interdisciplinary knowledge, to impart them one specific specialized knowledge, whatsoever subject they are taking. But at the same time, skill unke apne ghar mein hai. हमारे यूनिवर्सिटीज को एक प्लेटफॉर्म होना चाहिए टू एनहांस, टू लुक इनटू द स्किल्स ऑफ दोज पीपल, दोज गर्ल्स, एंड हाउ दे कैन ब्रिंग दैट आउट एंड अडॉप्ट दैट स्किल एज देयर बिजनेस एंड ब्रिंग आउट देयर एंटरप्रेन्योरियल स्किल. सो यहाँ पे हमारा यूनिवर्सिटी का और हमारा जो एक जनरल स्किल है वो इस्टेब्लिश होगा. सो जो ग्लोबल नैरेटिव हैं जो कि हमें जनरली बताते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी में अगर आप पढ़ लेंगे देन यू विल बिकम एंटरप्रेन्योर, जस्ट लाइक दैट वी विल नॉट बिकम एंटरप्रेन्योर. तो उसके अंदर हमारे जो स्किल, लोकल स्किल्स, हमारे इंडिजिनस स्किल्स हैं, we should not undermine that. We should not, चाहे वो इवन सफाई का स्किल क्यों ना हो, चाहे वो इवन जो बहुत ही सिलाई कढ़ाई के स्किल ही क्यों ना हो, they can become very good entrepreneurial skills. और आजकल आप कई बच्चियों को देखेंगे फ्रॉम द रेजन मेकिंग, वहां से लेके वो अपनी इवन कॉन्वर्सेशंस, जो उनकी कुकिंग के स्किल्स हैं, दे आर शोइंग देम ऑल. इवन इफ यू सी बिग बिजनेसेस, आजकल तो बहुत अच्छी बेकरीज एंड restaurants and even tuition centers, they are owned by women. The only point which we need to enhance is the confidence, and is to let them know that there is a linkage between global and local skills and discourses and narratives, and we should always bridge that. तो एक रिसर्च भी ये बताती है कि अगर हम सिर्फ और सिर्फ ग्लोबल नैरेटिव दैट इकोनॉमिक एम्पावरमेंट इज एवरीथिंग, इफ वी वुड टेक इट within our context, probably it would not work, although everybody wants to be economically empowerment. But अगर हम इसको अपनी identity के साथ, अपनी social responsibility के साथ, and अगर that how we are going to change our cultural narrative, because cultures are also very fluid, and इसके साथ connect करेंगे तो probably our youth particularly and women would link to it. Or even for example cultural values, जो अभी हमने बात की कि most of the care work is responsibility of of women. So bringing in online work has actually provided women to take up both the responsibilities. But at the same time, these are the mediums where we can bring in awareness as well. Awareness के किस तरीके से emotional responsibility should be shared. It's not only the work which men should share. It's also, how they should share emotional responsibilities. Even हमारे जो आजकल बहुत से मर्द हजरात बहुत ज्यादा assist करते हैं women को, but are they assisting their women who are back at home? क्या वो उनको भी assist कर रहे हैं, या वो सिर्फ उन खवातीन को ही assist कर रहे हैं जो उनके साथ मिलके उनकी job places पे या जो work places है उनके ऊपर काम कर रही हैं? That's something really very important, because charity begins from home. तो this is something really very important. Home businesses को promote करना, जो कि sustainable development में आता है. These are the concepts जो कि हम global narratives को incorporate भी कर सकते हैं, but at the same time we can bring in our own local restrictions कह लें, responsibilities कह लें, या local हमारे अपनी indigenous knowledge कह लें. We should bring both of them together. This is how we'll be successful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saima Khan, for your insightful discussion, and also you have provided a solution as well. I wish to raise many more concern from this platform to you, but due to the shortage of time, with your permission, I would move to the next panelist, and inshallah,
Please.
in next time, inshallah, we will extend our time, and definitely the questions we left today, we would raise in the future as well, because every month we would organize such kind of activities, and inshallah, I will again invite you as a panelist, and I will extend the time. With your permission, I move to the next panelist, and who is Dr. Irfan Hussain Khan, and he's basically the founder of the Pakistan Economic Frontier. And welcome, Dr. Irfan Hussain. I invited you especially on this platform in compliance with the instructions of the Women Development Punjab, because we received the training that in Lahore in the month of December last year, that we have to invite our male colleagues, male students in our activities, because we have to make it sure that we are not biased and we are not bending towards the one side. Rather, we are focusing on the each segment of the society. And this way we can move on and we can grow to meet in compliance with the long-term sustainability. So, Dr. Irfan, I welcome you in the University of WA. Am I audible?
Yes, madam.
Dr. Irfan Hussain, welcome to the University of WA. Thank you so much for your collaboration with the University of WA and Women Development Punjab. As you have already working in the developmental sector and have successfully completed several projects, so I would like to focus on this area as well during our interaction. So, Mike, first, I would like to highlight on this point. So, what is your idea about it according to your experience? That what is the role of the development sector in promotion and engaging women in entrepreneurship? Ji, Dr. Irfan.
Thank you, University of Dr. Asma, and our colleagues, Women Development Punjab. Dr. Asma, it is possible कि वीडियो ओपन हो सकता है ताकि मैं इनको देख सकूं और ये लोग मुझे देख सकें, ताकि इट विल बी अ मोर कन्वीनियंट फॉर मी. लुक लाइक अ रेडियो सेशन के मैं एक रेडियो सेशन पे बैठा हूँ, और होता यह है कि जब हम क्लास में सेशन लेते हैं तो याद है कि वो बच्चे सो जाते हैं.
जी डॉक्टर.
तो मैं चाहता हूँ कि बच्चे देखें मुझे, और शायद इनको जो नींद है ना वो भी ना आए इनको. हाँ, तो खैर, thank you, Jazakallah. First of all, I am really thankful to the worthy Vice Chancellor and Dr. Asma, the chairperson, our colleagues, all our students. It's really a very great initiative by the University of and other compliance department. आज के जो सेशन है वो सारा का सारा वीमेन एंड फीमेल डोमिनेट सेशन, और मैं बेचारा मेल, इसमें मेरी बारी भी आखिर में आई. खैर, महंगाई चल रही है तो आखिर में भी बारी आ रही है, तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया गनीमत है मेरे लिए. तो देखें, ऑलमोस्ट 2 डेकेड्स होने वाले हैं मुझे डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में. आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द एज ऑफ 22, जब मैं डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में आया, और इसके बाद एमफिल और पीएडी मैंने कंप्लीट किया. I agree with the talk with the Dr. Samina Khalil Sahaba. I agree with the uh, talk with Dr. Sanam Khatak. I also agree with the Dr. Sama Khan talk. But my view is entirely different. It is a 360 angle difference. Academia, research और फिर डिबेट, फिर वर्कशॉप, सेमिनार और ये चीज़ें वगैरह, हम अक्सर बात करते हैं कि हमारा एकेडमिया ये कर रहा है और हम लोग रिसर्च में इतना काम कर रहे हैं, इतना प्रोजेक्ट्स काम कर रहे हैं और ये चीज़ें वगैरह। बेसिकली हमने बच्चों को क्योंकि जब हम लोग डॉक्टर असमा और हम लोग देख रहे थे कि यहाँ पे मेजॉरिटी स्टूडेंट्स हैं और फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हैं, तो हमने बच्चों को वो ज़्यादा ही पैम्पर्ड कर दिया है। उनको 2 जमा 2 पे ही बिठा दिया है कि बच्चों 2 जमा 2 ही होते हैं, सिर्फ 4 ही होते हैं। कभी 2 और 2 को 22 नहीं बनाया हमने कि इसको हम लोग 22 कैसे बना सकते हैं, या इसको 2+2 और डिफरेंट थीम और डिफरेंट केस स्टडीज आते हैं। हमने उनसे बाहर उनको निकलना सिखाया ही नहीं उनको। जैसे डॉक्टर नदीम उल हक साहब अक्सर कहते हैं कि हमने बच्चों को सिर्फ इंटायरली मिड टर्म और फिर वो फाइनल टर्म पे बिठा दिया कुछ नोट्स पे कि इन्हीं पे सरवाइव करना है और आपकी यही जिंदगी है, और बच्चों को भी इसी पे खुश कर दिया कि बच्चों यहाँ पे 3.8 लेनी है तो मार्केट में जॉब मिलेगी, और अगर 2.5 होगी तो मेरे जैसों को जॉब नहीं मिलेगी। ये कॉन्सेप्ट ने बच्चों की विजन को भी बड़ा नैरो कर दिया, और बच्चा समझता है कि हमारा सारी की सारी जो प्रोग्रेस है वो हमारी सीजीपी पे डिपेंड करती है, और अगर इससे कम हुआ तो हमारा तो हाल बुरा है। मुख्तलिफ गैलप सर्वे हुए हैं 25 में। अगर हम सिर्फ अपना एकेडमिक कैलेंडर देखते हैं तो 365 दिन में 125 दिन सिर्फ हमने बच्चों को पढ़ाया। 125 दिन। ये अगर हम उसको देखें ना, एक आलमी मेयार तालीम को देखें, तो हमारा आलमी मेयार तालीम में भी हम लोग बहुत पीछे हैं कि 150 डे रिक्वायर है मिनिमम। इससे कम तो रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है आपका एकेडमिक कैलेंडर। तो अभी तक तो हम लोग अपनी वो तालीम को भी पीछे बिठा के बैठे हैं कि हमने अपने दिन ही पूरे नहीं किए। 125 दिन हमने बच्चों को पढ़ाया, और 125 दिन में भी जो पढ़ाया है, कभी कोरोना का डर था, तो कभी जंग का डर था, कभी छुट्टियों का, कभी ननियाल का डर, तो कभी ददियाल का डर, और कभी वैसी छुट्टियां, और कभी हमारी तबीयत खराब, और कभी हमारा मूड खराब। तो वो हमारे 125 दिन तो हमारे उसमें गुजरे हैं। तो बाकी दिन तो हमने पढ़ाया ही नहीं बच्चों को, हमारा फोकस ही नहीं है। जीडीपी को देख लें तो हमारा हम लोग इकोनॉमिक्स के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो हम लोग 3% भी नहीं लगा रहे। एजुकेशन प्लस हेल्थ हमारा क्वार्टाइल बजट आता है, दोनों को हम लोग मिला के 3% हम लोग लगाते हैं अपने 100 रुपये में से। तो 1.5 रुपया तो हम लोग लगा रहे हैं एजुकेशन के ऊपर। तो हम लोग क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि हमारा बच्चा क्या पढ़ेगा, और हमारा टीचर क्या पढ़ाएगा, हमारा प्रोफेसर क्या अच्छा पढ़ाएगा, हमारी मोटिवेशन ही नहीं आएगी। सबसे पहले तो हमें अपने वो इंस्टीट्यूट्स को ठीक करना पड़ेगा। अपने जो इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं वो ठीक होंगे, अच्छा प्रोफेसर पढ़ा, और हमारा जो स्टूडेंट्स है वो भी अच्छा पढ़ के निकलेगा। ये तो हमने बात की बजट की, इनकम की, रिसोर्स की, क्योंकि वो सप्लाई डिमांड के चक्कर को हम लोग याद रखते हैं हमेशा। फिर बात करते हैं इंटरप्रेन्योर की तरफ, जो हमारा आज मेन टॉपिक है। देखिए, इंटरप्रेन्योर जो हमारा मेन वर्ड है, मैं अगेन कहता हूं कि मैं अपने 3 पैनलिस्ट हमारे लिए ये मेंटोर की हैसियत रखते हैं। मैं इनसे एग्री करता हूं, लेकिन मेरा इस चीज पे डिसएग्री ये है, क्योंकि अगर मैं डिसएग्री नहीं करूंगा तो फिर तो बात खत्म हो जाएगी। मैं डिसएग्री इस बात पे करता हूं कि एंटरप्रेन्योर इज बेसिकली डिपेंड अपॉन योर आइडिया। एंटरप्रेन्योर इज बेसिकली डिपेंड अपॉन योर आइडिया। हम एंटरप्रेन्योर डिपेंड ही हमारा आइडिया पे करता है। आइडिया हमें इंस्टीट्यूट ने देना है, एजुकेशन ने देना है। हम लोग बार बार देख रहे होते हैं कि हमें आइडिया उसने देना है। ये भी बात गलत है। आपको इंस्टीट्यूट ने आइडिया नहीं देना, आइडिया आप लोगों ने खुद जनरेट करना है। इंस्टीट्यूट का काम सिर्फ पढ़ाना है आपको, और वो पढ़ा रहे हैं। हम लोग समझते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी हवा या एबीसी यूनिवर्सिटी हमें बताएगी कि आपने काम क्या करना है, और हमें हाथ पकड़ के बताएगी कि आपने बच्चे एबीसी इंस्टीट्यूट में जाना है, वहां पे काम करना है। ऐसा नहीं है। डॉक्टर असमा साहबा दे डिड सेवरल प्रोजेक्ट विद चाइना और अदर कंट्रीज के साथ कर चुकी हैं। उनको पता है कि बच्चों को कैसे पढ़ाया जा रहा है और कैसे बच्चे तैयार कर रहे हैं। वो नस्ल बना रहे हैं। हम नस्ल नहीं बना रहे, हम सिर्फ बच्चों को पढ़ा रहे हैं बस। वो 2 जमा 2 करके पढ़ा रहे हैं। थोड़े से नोट्स हैं, माइक्रो के, मैक्रो के, एबीसी के नोट्स पढ़ाए, और बच्चों को कहा इन्हीं में से आना है। और बच्चा क्या करता है, वो वहां से 4x4 लेके बच्चा खुश, प्रोफेसर खुश, डिपार्टमेंट खुश। यूनिवर्सिटी ने भी QS रैंकिंग ले ली और यूनिवर्सिटी भी खुश होगी सबके सब। फिर सबसे नुकसान क्या हो रहा है, वो हमारी जो जनरेशन है वो हमारी खराब हो रही है, वो तबाह हो रही है। आप मैट्रिक का रिजल्ट देख लें, पूरे पाकिस्तान में 100% रिजल्ट आया हुआ बच्चों का, और बच्चों के A+ और A+ से A++ नंबर आए हुए हैं, लेकिन बच्चा मार्केट में फेल है। क्यों फेल हो रहा है? इसलिए फेल हो रहा है कि हमने बच्चों को सिर्फ वो एक एकेडमिक नॉलेज तक रखा हुआ है, उनको आइडिया जनरेशन की तरफ लाया ही नहीं गया। बच्चों को बताया नहीं कि बच्चों आप लोगों ने माइक्रो मैक्रो और ABC जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं उनसे बाहर निकल के आप लोगों ने सोचा है। वो सोचेंगे तो काम चलेगा, ऐसे काम नहीं चलेगा। मैं डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर में हूँ, तो मैंने अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी से कुछ भी नहीं सीखा। उन्होंने मुझे सिर्फ वही माइक्रो और मैक्रो पढ़ाई थी, और जो एकेडमिक्स जो मुझे मजमून थे वो सिखाए थे। मैंने जितने सॉफ्टवेयर जितने एकेडमिक चीजें सीखी हैं वो मैंने मार्केट से सीखी थी और खुद जाके सीखी थी। मुझे किसी ने गाइड नहीं किया था। मुझे किसी ने नहीं कहा था कि आप यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ वाह में जाएं, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ पेशावर में जाएं, या इस्लामाबाद AERC में जाएं, पॉइंट में जाएं, या किसी और इंस्टीट्यूट में जाके सीखें। देखिए, आपका जब आप निकलेंगे नहीं तो आपको आइडियाज कहाँ से आएंगे? आपको घर बैठे आइडियाज नहीं मिलेंगे। सीखेंगे, सीकिंग बिहेवियर होगा तो चीजें लर्न होंगी। ऐसे आपको आइडिया जनरेशन नहीं होगा। किताबें पढ़ने से इस तरह चीजें आपको सिर्फ लर्निंग तो हो जाएगी, लेकिन प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस के लिए आपको काफी चीजें लर्न करनी पड़ेंगी। उसके बाद आएगा आइडिया, आएगा उसके बाद काम स्टार्ट होंगे। अब काम करना मुश्किल नहीं रहा पहले। जी मैडम साहब प्लीज।
Dr. Irfan, I just have a request. Today there is a I don't know that's why it happened. We have a shortage of time, and as it happens to other panelists as well, I couldn't complete all my concerns, and I couldn't highlight. But that is also a good sign. In future, we can also arrange our next series as well. So, due to shortage of time, we have to end our session just in a 5 or 10 minutes, because the time was from 11 to 12 o'clock. That time is already up. So I would like to sum up all our discussions today. Although there are much more points which are left, and definitely there is also, although me and you have decided that in next month again around 7 or 8th May, with permission of the competent authority, we will organize one more session. But still this session is incomplete. So we will come up again and we will continue from here again. So with your permission, as we have a shortage of time, I think it is not possible, Myra. It is not possible to open up the session for the questioning and answer? It is not possible. So, Doctor, with your permission, Dr. Irfan, is it possible to sign off today's session? And we can continue our session again in the next month. So,
यस मैडम,
so
व्हाई नॉट, कोई
so, Dr. Irfan, with your and with permission of all the panelists, thank you so much for joining us today. As we come to the end of today's insightful session, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our distinguished speakers, respected guests, and active participants for their valuable time, contribution, and engagements. Today's discussion on promoting women entrepreneurship for greater participation in innovation, research, and commercialization has truly highlighted the importance of empowering women as key drivers of sustainable development and economic growth. I would also like to once again acknowledge the support of the Women Development Department Punjab and the Chief Minister's Female Ambassador Program for making this initiative possible. I also extend special thanks to the Vice Chancellor of the University of Law, Registrar Sahab, and Director Auric for encouraging the universities of active participation in Chief Minister of Punjab's Women Development Department initiative. And before signing off, we this is with this we conclude today's webinar. But we have a promise that we will organize this session again, and we will come back again with a new topic under the umbrella of the Women Development Department Punjab and Pakistan Economic Frontier. Thank you all for your participation. Stay safe and have a wonderful day ahead. Allah Hafiz from my side, but it's now I hand over this session to the Miss Myra Kashif Raja, who is the ambassador of the Female Ambassador Program, Women Development Department, University of Ji Myra.
Can we take Sarvisi to the board? Okay. Professor Dr. Jamilun Nabi.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Am I loud and clear to everyone?
Yes, sir, you are loud and you are audible. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, despite my hectic schedule, मैं पूरी session के अंदर speakers को सुनता रहा. So I would first of all like to congratulate Dr. Asma for organizing a very useful workshop. And then I would like to thank the respective governments who have participated, especially the Punjab government, and then all the participants, speakers. Thank you very much. It was very useful. And I hope it would be as vibrant as today, and we will continue with future events as well. Thank you, and back to you, Dr. Asma.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. It's a great honor for us. So I hand over this session to Ms. Myra Kasharaja for formally signing off this session.
Sir, thank you so much. As we conclude today's webinar, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Women Development Department Punjab and the Female Ambassador Program Punjab initiated by Chief Minister Punjab for providing us this platform and empowering women through such meaningful initiatives. I would like to thank Pakistan Economics Frontier for their collaboration and support in organizing this informative session. My heartfelt thanks to our respected guest speakers for sharing their valuable knowledge and insights, and special thanks to Dr. Asma Arif for her guidance and leadership. I also extend my gratitude to the worthy Vice Chancellor, University of WA, and worthy Registrar, and the Directorate of Student Affairs, Director Oric, and Principal Mashal Degree College. I would also like to thank all the participants for joining us today. Your presence made this session meaningful and successful. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe, stay motivated, and keep empowering others.
Excuse me, Dr. Mehra and Dr. Asma, I recently shared the Google Form link for e-certificate. Please share in chat box for those who have attended the session.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure, sir.